Okay, how I use Claude AI to run seven-figure pipeline. Okay, imagine it's Tuesday morning and you're in your Q3 pipeline review. The VP of sales just cleared his number and the chief marketing officer turns to you and says, "Where's marketing on this?" Now your numbers are stretched. 2 accounts moved and 3 slipped. The CMO doesn't say anything, but she does write something down. You walk back to your desk, you open up Claude AI, and you type in, "Help me think about Q4 pipeline." And the output comes back thoughtful, vague, useless. So you close the tab and you open Salesforce. You sit there thinking, there's a way to use this tool that actually moves the number. I just don't know what it is. Now I've spent nearly 20 years inside Fortune 500 marketing and driven 7 figures of pipeline on an annual basis. So here's the fastest way to the version of what I'm about to show you. Stop asking Claude to help you think about anything. Bring it the hardest, most specific pipeline problem on your desk this week. The one account that should be moving and isn't. Feed Claude the intent data. Give it what that CEO said publicly in the last 12 months, or earnings reports or calls, and ask Claude what they would want to hear. Now, that's a 20-minute move you can make today. The other 3 take about 20 years to understand and 20 minutes to execute. Okay, name the enemy. Let me name the environment you're operating in, because the AI tutorial creators on YouTube have never actually lived in it. The last time I expanded one capability inside a corporate marketing platform, one new type of message, it took about 4 months. With 7 teams, IT, procurement, marketing automation, customer data, legal, brand, and the vendor. Every team had a veto. So when one of those other AI bros shows you how to wire Claude into your CRM in 12 minutes on a laptop, that demo's never actually had to survive a legal review. It's never had to worry about the brand department killing your workflow. And they've never had a corporate sales VP refuse to use the leads because the territory model was not aligned properly. Now, you've watched those demos on YouTube and you close the tab. Not because you couldn't figure it out, but because nobody made the demo for the marketer like you who actually has a number to hit and a senior leadership to answer to. So I'm going to walk you through a few moments where Claude can be the intelligence layer behind real pipeline work, not the tool, the actual intelligence layer. Here are those moments in order. 1 is the account thesis. This is where you decide who gets the actual program. 2, the CEO language. This is what you're actually trying to say. 3, the signal. And this is what most marketers miss after they first open. 4, maturity. And this is the question that decides if your program survives the next big budget cycle. And the second one is where most senior marketers leak the most money. So stay with me on that one. Okay, moment 1. The account thesis. This is the first moment which accounts get the program this quarter. Junior marketers take whatever sales hands them. Senior marketers like you write an actual account thesis. And here's why this set of accounts. Here's the signals that support it. Here's what changes if we're right. That's all part of the thesis. Now, Claude is the partner you write that thesis with. The intent signals, the propensity data, the dormant pipeline indicators, last quarter's pattern recognition, all this loaded into a single project folder. Then you ask Claude what the thesis should be for the set of accounts at that particular moment. Now, you want to go back and forth with Claude and push back on it. And by the end of the session, you'll have a thesis you can defend to sales, and one that sales doesn't have to actually be persuaded, because the thesis was built using their actual own data. Now, a few years ago, I worked on a multi-territorial campaign across more than a half dozen regions. Now, there were 3 funding streams that were designed to work together, and the budget was well under what most programs would consider possible for the scope. Now, the thesis had to be the constraint. So, where do you go when you have this much to spend and this many markets to cover? Claude made that constraint analysis about 5 times faster. Now, the intent signals are yours. Claude could just read all that data faster than you can. If your account list this quarter is whatever sales handed you, you don't have a pipeline strategy. All you have is a work list. Now, if this video lands, hit the subscribe button, and I'll provide you what 20 years inside Fortune 500 marketing actually looks like. Now, back to it. Now, moment 2 is the CEO language. This is what you actually say to make an account move. And let me give you one tip. saying the word personalized is not the strategy. Now, the senior marketing move is to pull all the public record on each of the decision makers, earnings calls, board statements, LinkedIn posts even, conference talk, press interviews, and finding everything on the account and the key people account, the language they use about their priorities. Then you're writing every touch point in that specific language. Claude AI could do that in about 20 minutes. And this is something that would take a junior analyst a half week to do manually. Okay, now there was a time where I had a small set of accounts that we were trying to penetrate, and the decision makers were extremely loyal to our competitor. Every email we sent them for months, they ignored. Now, the next move we tried was a little bit more analog. We sent their executives little gift baskets that we delivered to them, and with handwritten little notes. So now all the digital stuff was running in the background, but when they received that gift, that very old-fashioned gift basket, they contacted our salespeople and we got the business. Now that particular play opened real dialogue with accounts that had been silent for years, and the pipeline impact was 6 figures. Now here's where Claude AI could live inside that play. Now Claude can't send the gift basket, but Claude can write what those letters say. Claude can read what each CEO or key person at that account have been saying publicly for a year. It can read through all the earnings statements. It can read through all the press releases and figure out in minutes what each person's pain point is, which each one of those key persons needed. And that's the difference. The move ultimately was old-fashioned and analog, but all the intelligence running behind it, that was Claude. Now, if your message sounds like marketing wrote it, it does. The senior marketing move is to make it like CEO already said it, because you found the place where they actually did. Now, that's what a 7-figure marketing operator looks like using AI. Now, moment 3, and this is the signal that most marketers miss. Now, it isn't the campaign, it's what happens after that first signal. Most marketers track open rates and call it engagement. The senior marketer knows the real money is in what the account does after the open. Now, and this includes what pages they visit, what content they consume, and whether the same contact keeps visiting all your assets over and over again. Now, and this is where Claude can earn its seat at the table. Take 3 months of your engagement data, all of it, and load it into Claude AI. And ask it one simple question. What are my highest intent counts doing differently from the rest? Now, the answer might not be what you've guessed. It might not show up on a campaign report. Now, I once built an automated retargeting program tied to specific engagement signals in an email nurture campaign. When a contact opened a specific email, it triggered follow-up emails. And then our sales partners got an alert within a few minutes so that they can contact the person that showed the engagement behavior. Now, this process nearly doubled engagement rates because of the sophistication of person visits a page or engages with content. They get served a follow-up message, the sales partner gets an alert, and sales is able to follow up almost instantaneously. Now, Claude AI can help you sift through all of that data in seconds and figure out which accounts are moving and which ones aren't. So if your campaign report only shows open rates and click-through rates, man, you're missing it. Use Claude AI to really sift through all the data and develop new insights and figure out which accounts are moving and where the opportunity really is. Now, the fourth moment is maturity. Yeah, maturity. And this is the question nobody on your team is asking right now. Every program has a stage, walk, run, sprint. And the mistake most marketers make is assuming they're at the run stage when they're really at the walk, or trying to sprint when they should still be trying to actually walk. Imagine sitting in a half-day strategy workshop with one of your marketing ops vendors. Now, you got years of experience, and you're talking about all the marketing infrastructure that you have and walking through the results. You assume you're at the run stage. Well, you are. Well, you're not. You're actually at the walk stage, and that conversation has to change. Claude is my diagnostic for those type of questions now, so that when you're talking to your vendors about program improvements, you have all the data and summaries that you need in order to have those intelligent conversations. No, you can talk about deployment models, engagement signals, sales motions, measurement maturity, And Claude can actually use all that data that you have on your campaigns and help you come up with the insights that you need to understand where you are and explain it quickly. And here's why that matters. Your vendors have renewals, and you need to understand whether you need to make that renewal or not. And Claude can help you sift through all the data to understand what value you're getting out of your vendors and knowing if you need to continue to make further investments in them. And that change right there, that's the marketer whose pipeline number isn't a forecast. It's a thesis that you can defend with actual receipts. And that's who you become when Claude AI stops being a tool and starts being the actual intelligence layer behind all your numbers and metrics. Now, your chief marketing officer isn't going to ask about the campaign. She's going to ask you which accounts came back from dormant. And the VP of sales isn't going to argue with you about targeting. He's going to ask you for your account thesis. And the board, they're going to take your pipeline forecast as a baseline and ask you what's next. Now, that's a senior marketer. That's already who you are. Claude just amplifies that. And let me be straight with you. Every quarter you're not running those moments like that in Claude, somebody on your team is. A younger analyst, a peer on another team. They're not waiting for the perfect tutorial. They're not closing that tab. They're loading all their engagement data into Claude on a Tuesday morning and asking a better question than you did at that meeting. Now, Gartner says by 2027, lack of personal AI literacy will be a top 3 reason CMOs get replaced. Now, that's not a productivity problem. That's a seat at the table problem. And what we just discussed today isn't a hack. That's the operating practice for senior marketers like you right now. So tell me, what's a moment this quarter where your pipeline number lived or died on something other than your campaign? Drop that below in the comments. Now, these moments only land if you're running the moves underneath them. And we covered that right here.